Rematch with the Cowboys, man. I mean, how bad? I mean, some of your teammates downplayed it, but for you, going into this game, trying to get rematch on those guys after the controversial end of last year, how much you looking forward to this game?
I'm looking forward to it a lot, especially about how the way it played out last year, but things happen, This year, I think we just mainly focus on going to get a win, because last year we walked out of there with a loss, and it hurt a lot of us how it happened, and just losing, hurt. So I think our main thing is just to go in there, play the ball we play, and win.
What's it feel like to be in an offense when the ball doesn't hit the ground, like the quarterback's 18 of 18? Do you feel that?
Yeah, that's awesome. That's kind of like, playing Madden on rookie. Yeah, you don't really get to make too many mistakes, and we played good ball. I think what helped that a lot though was the run game. Jameer and Demo, O-line. How we started off, we started running. And then transformed to the pass game. So both sides really help each other in that situation. And we just got a good quarterback, and he just do what he do. So.
How ready is this team to take the next step? I mean, reel off a few in a row.
I think we're more than ready. By the way we practice, we have like coaches who are perfectionists. So if we mess up the first two drives in practice, we start in practice over or something like that. So I think we're more than ready. And it starts with the coaching staff. How they want us to be, and we just follow them. Do what we told, and we real high on details and things like that. So we just go out there and execute when it's time.
We talked to Ben a couple of weeks ago. He mentioned the Jameson Williams effect, which is basically because of all the big plays you've made early, that now he's starting to see defenses like Arizona play too high, take that away and open up lanes to rush. Just when you hear that, the Jameson Williams effect, what do you like about that?
I don't really like that because I don't know. It's good though, It give our other guys, a chance to make plays, and like I said, I think I got asked this question a couple weeks ago too. We got playmakers, so they can't really zone in on one person because somebody else is gonna make some plays. It's just almost 100% with me. Like I got faith in my guys to go out there and just make the play, move the sticks, and score touchdowns. Even if it ain't me, they lock in on somebody else gonna make a play. So I really think that's like the main thing with that. I really think teams really gotta stay away from that because we got so many playmakers. So they gotta. It's real fun, You see a lot of touchdowns scored from a lot of different guys. I think last week we had everybody score. We had 2 running backs score. We had 2 receivers score. We had a quarterback score receiving touchdowns. So it's all getting passed around. So I think it's real fun being in an offense like that. And it's just a lot of weapons, so we can go around and get a ball to anybody, and anybody gonna make a play. So I think it's real fun.
How well do you know CD and what's it like going up? Obviously, you're not going up against him, but I guess what makes him so dangerous?
CD on my.
CD Lamb.
Oh, I don't really. Oh, you talking about like playing against him, seeing him on the field?
Well, yeah,
I don't really know him like that, but I think he a good receiver. He make a lot of plays. I watched him. I've been watching him since he been at Oklahoma. So, real good playmaker. That's all I could really say for real.
What do you remember about going against Jordan Lewis? And obviously, there's been some verbal back and forth between him and Amon.
We just gotta stay out of that type of stuff. We coming to play ball. But that stuff like that happen on the field, it's people who talk a lot, and it's, just got to handle it the way you handle it. Go out there and make a couple plays, maybe a stop, but, we just coming out here focused on making plays and getting a W at the end of the game when it's 0-0 us.
Does it raise the intensity, though?
Yeah, I would say it raised the intensity, but, we don't really trip off stuff like that. We don't really trip off guys who try to get you off your game and stuff like that. I feel like I could speak for guys in the locker room when I say that because we always next play mentality. Even if it's a bad play or a good play, we score on this play, it's still next play. If we get a sack or incomplete pass, it's still next play. So, I think it's that way.
You played in a lot of big-time programs, Ohio State, Alabama, but experiencing success in the NFL, has life been any different with just the extra attention and doing more interviews, getting more attention? Have anything been any different from this experience than your previous one?
Nah, I don't think so. I feel like I always been had a lot of attention since I started playing football. You know, my football team in the city, we was like one of them. So, like we would sell out games, have fans standing on the side. We had bring extra bleachers out, you know, because we was always the ones that they wanted to watch. So, like I think I shout out our coach for that, Coach Corey Patterson. He at Purdue right now. That's how he taught us to play football. That's why I love the game. You know, he taught us to celebrate. You know, have fun on the field. You know, we always was swag. We had pink uniforms, Oregon uniforms. So like we always had the attention. You know, so from starting football from 6 or 7 years old. So I feel like it really haven't changed much. It probably went down and went up. You know, by the things that happened. You know, when I went to Ohio State and then went to Bama. And now I'm here doing what I'm doing. So you know, I feel like it's always been there though.
Last one, John? Yeah, what's it been like to have Tim and Allen in the room and what they can bring to this offense?
That's great. Those guys been bringing a lot to us. You know, they've been going out there making plays. Allen, you know, he always helped me with everything. You know, Tim also, you know, bringing them guys into the offense. You know, with them making plays. You see, Tim had a couple big ones last week, and you know, that's just what we needed. You know, we was going out looking for that, and he came in and he filled the spot perfectly.
Can I ask how Allen has helped you?
You know, he's been in the league a long time, and he sees certain things. You know, he just coached me on certain things like that. So, you know, just vet things, you know.
You decided which city you're going to feud with?
I'm with Detroit. I'm with Detroit.
City you wanted to attack, maybe.
Yeah, and then it's all love, man. You know, I talk smack on New Orleans, so he's doing his little troll. You know, they control, so he control too.
Can you take it?
Yeah, he's good. He's fine.
Detroit is riding for you though.
I love it. I mean, Detroit gonna ride for Detroit all the time. That's what I love about the city. You come at Detroit, they're gonna come at you. So I don't know if he learned his lesson. He probably hasn't, but he might still have fun with it. We'll see.
Just coming off of the bye week, I guess, how did you spend it, and what were you guys looking at as far as offensively goes in terms of what you were looking back after the first 4 weeks?
Yeah, you know, I feel like for us, it was not your typical bye week after 4 weeks, kind of early. But, you know, I spent my bye week here, just chilled in Michigan. But looking back from the first 4 weeks, we feel like as an offense, you know, we had a pretty good game last week or the week before versus Seahawks. But leading up to the Seahawks, we felt like we had, you know, left some food on the plate. We feel like in those first 3 games, there was flashes of, you know, what we're capable of doing and how we want to play as an offense. But if you can, you know, take the game as a whole, we feel like there were some areas that we were missing, whether it was execution, lining up in the right spots, things like that. So, and you know, looking back on the 4 weeks, we still are, I think, top 10 in most categories. So, we just want to be better, get better as an offense. You know, kind of pick up where we left off with the Seahawks, and get back to Dallas this week, who have a good defense, and try to put up some points.
I was talking to the sports world. Obviously, last year, controversial ending. You know, a lot of your teammates downplaying it. I mean, you've never been one to miss your words, but how badly do you want to get them back? Or is there anything in you from last year that want to get them back, or is it strictly this year?
I mean, we definitely want to win. It's the same as the Seahawks. You know, we hadn't beat them in since I've been here for 3 years. I don't know how many years we hadn't beat the Seahawks, but we hadn't beat them in a while. I've never beat Dallas. I'm 0-2 versus them, so we definitely want to win the game. It's a game that's, you know, a big game, good team at Dallas. But at the end of the day, it's just another game. Whether we win, whether we lose, whatever it is, the next week is going to come, and that next week is going to be the biggest game of the week. So for us, it's 1 week at a time mentality, and that's the game in front of us. So it's the most important game of the year for us.
So some of the comments from the past about Jordan Lewis and just how he talks, you know, when a guy's out there and he's just spitting, you know, do you ignore it? Do you get involved? Like, how does that work for you when a guy's just talking?
Yeah, I typically don't get too involved. I might say something back a little, but for the most part, it just fires me up, gets me going. So I love it. You know, I don't usually say the first word, but if someone's talking to me, then it just fires me up.
Do you like it when guys talking trash?
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. You know, sometimes I feel like some games, you know, you're out there just playing ball, and then someone fires you up, and you're like, okay, let's go, and it kind of gets you going for the rest of the game. So.
What was it about his interaction, though, in that particular game that, you know, caused you to kind of talk about it, I guess, this summer?
Yeah, I was just asked, you know, what player. I think they asked me what player talks the most smack, and it was hard for me to think of one. He was kind of one that just kind of stood out because I feel like, I mean, last year not too many people said much to me. Like I said, I don't say things to people for the most part, so he was just one of the guys that stood out to me.
You feel like people talk to you less as you continue to just ascend, like compared to your rookie year? Do people talk to you less now?
That's a good question. I wouldn't say so. You know, I feel like there's always maybe young players that I feel like speak, you know, talk more than older guys. Because I feel like as you get older in this league, you start to respect players more and what they do and the job that we have to do each and every week. But I wouldn't say, you know, it's changed since from my rookie year to now. I would just say that, you know, guys that typically speak first are the ones that are going to get spoken back to. So if you don't say anything, probably won't get anything said to you. So.
Talk to the smack on this roster.
There's a few of us. I can't give you anyone in particular, but us wideouts, we can talk if we have to.
How close is this team to maybe making a serious run, multiple game kind of step forward?
Yeah, I think we're close, but I mean it's 1 week at a time. Like I said earlier, you can't look, you know, 2-3 weeks in advance. That's when you get caught. So we just got to take it 1 week at a time. It might seem long now, the days, but in a month from now, if you can stack up those wins, keep stacking them up, you'll be looking pretty good in a few weeks. So for us, it's just one game at a time mentality.
Speaking of Detroit, how that ballpark treat you yesterday?
It was good, man. It was fun. And I've been to a handful of baseball games, probably can count on one hand. And each one I've been to was always a bunch of empty seats. It's the first game I've ever been to where it was packed out. So it was a lit atmosphere. Towels were waving. I felt like, you know, usually I'm in the game when it's that type of atmosphere. So I finally felt the atmosphere as a fan. It was fun.
Did you do some recruiting with Devin Booker?
Same question. You guys are gonna have to see about that. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see.
Back to Jordan Lewis. He's also a heck of a football player. What kind of difficulties does he present at the nickel spot?
He's a good player. It's gonna be a good game. I'm excited for the whole matchup. All their DBs. I mean, him, Diggs. I like Wilson, the safety. He comes up, he'll stick his head in there. So they got some good players.
So the way things were clicking against Seattle, were you guys able to get even deeper into the call sheet, I guess, and maybe do some of this stuff more because you were having so much success early in the game?
I'm not sure. I mean, that's more I think of a Ben Johnson question. I just go out there and run the play that's called. But I think when you're executing like that in a game, Ben says all the time, it's pretty easy to call a game when everything's going right. So we had a good game 2 weeks ago, but this is a completely new team, new week.
When they blitz the way they do, what is the receiver's role in that? Do you have to be more aware of making yourself available on hots or options or whatever when they rush the way they do?
Yeah, always. I feel like in our offense, we do a great job of picking up blitzes, having zero answers, things like that. So we don't do too many hot things like that as receivers in our offense. Might be like one or two plays where you just have to be aware of it. But for the most part, we'll slide, or Jared or Frank will get us in the right protection. And Ben does a great job of giving Jared different options just in case there's a zero and there's a guy that we're unaccounted for. He can spit the ball out.
Yeah, coming off a week off for you guys now back into action, what's the feeling with the team moving on to a really tough opponent?
I think in some ways we kind of look at it like 4 games is like a quarter of the season, and now it's time to the next 4, and we know we got a stretch here on the road, and we're ready to get it rolling.
Do you think this team is ready right now to take that next step where you can reel off a few games at a time?
That's the plan. Yeah, we kind of try to keep the mindset 1 game at a time, but eventually, hopefully, that carries some momentum and we get her going there.
How was the pectoral feeling?
Good enough, baby.
Is it something you're just going to have to manage for the rest of the
It's
year?
all good.
Dan talked about you giving him a nice little nudge. That's the
Yeah, I was just trying to demonstrate that I was okay. That's it.
How about leaving at Dallas? We saw how they ended last year. Getting the opportunity to face them again. Obviously, when you guys, at this point in the season, trying to keep the momentum going. Talk about this game going back to Dallas. How big is this for you?
Yeah, I think obviously it's a new year, and last year didn't go how we wanted, but I think we know they're a team that typically is pretty good at the end, and we want to come out on top this time and execute at a high level.
Just with a pectoral injury, is that something that just needs rest? Is that what you did during the bye week, or was it like an aggressive kind of rehab to get back so quickly?
No, we had to rehab all kinds of shoulder and all kinds of different boring exercises that you kind of strengthen everything and make sure you're good to go.
Yeah. Is that how you spent your bye week then?
Fortunately.
Frank, it's interesting how successful the running back room is year after year, that it has had a lot of turnover in the last few years. How important is it to build chemistry with that room, and how do you guys do it?
I think we spend a lot of time together. You know, we've been to weddings together. We hang out a lot. It's not like a locker room where it's like I've been part of teams where it's like the O-line hangs out with the O-line, running backs do their own thing, wide receivers. This whole locker room does a good job of everybody's hanging out. I think that helps. And then just reps on the practice field is a big deal.
Did you guys know Taylor blocked 5 defenders down the field during Seattle on that Montgomery 40-yard rush or catch?
Oh, the catch? Yeah. Taylor was hustling.
What was your reaction when you see that?
Awesome. He had a couple other plays where he's hustling too. He did a great job that game.
Did you want to play in that Seattle game where you're kind of pushing the play, and did they just kind of say, hey, let's just get you ready for
Yeah, I would have liked to, but you know, you can't control what you can't control.
This run defense has improved the last couple of weeks, and they got gashed by the Saints, but ever since then it's been pretty strong. And can you point to anything that you've seen on film that why they've improved?
I think part of it, I feel like, is it's a newer defensive scheme, and they're all learning that scheme. Guys are playing hard. Guys are playing well. Linebackers like Kendricks and number 13 are flying around the field, and the defensive linemen are playing well. So I think that's part of it.
How do you think Graham did in your place on
Great.
before?
Great. He's a stud, man. I think he could be a really good center in this league, to be honest. And I think that's a huge luxury that hopefully we don't take for granted, because he's really good at all 3 positions.
How much are you involved in the game plan when you're not playing? Like, how much are you coaching him along? Or is he a better
With Graham, I mean, he's played it enough. I mean, we bounce ideas off of each other and kind of talk as peers, but not really coaching him in a way. He knows what he's doing.